Hello, today we're going to be looking at problem solving using the cosine rule for sides. Okay, so first of all, remember our cosine rule states that a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos of capital A. So again, that's given in our formula sheet. I am specifically going to be using degrees in this lesson or tutorial. So please make sure that you have checked your setup and that you are in degrees. This is where you change it. You just move this down and you can choose degrees, radians there. So if your calculator has recently been reset, it always goes to radians as its default, so you need to make sure you're on the right thing. Okay, so having a look at the problem. Given this parallelogram with a 35 degree smaller angle, find the difference between the lengths of the two diagonals. So there's going to be a diagonal here, straight line obviously, and a diagonal there, and they're wanting to know the difference between the two. So let's just start off first of all with, and I'm just going to rub out this blue one because we don't need it for right now. Okay, it's not rubbing out. Okay. But we're just looking at this triangle right here for now. Okay, so I'm going to label my triangle. That's going to be helpful for me because there we go. This is going to be little a. And it doesn't really matter where B and C go. Let's call this little b, and this is C, so this will be little c. It doesn't, the B and the C don't really matter, but if you've got it in this form, it is quite handy to have the angle you've been given and the side you're looking for as the A's. Okay, so what are we going to do? First of all, we're just going to substitute in to find out what this shorter diagonal is. So a squared is equal to, that's 15 centimeters, sorry, I probably should have done that again. Okay, so now that I've put that in there, I'm just going to use my calculator to work that out. So 15 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 15 times 10 times cos 35. Oh, did I type in cos? Sorry. I'm using my keyboard and it gets a bit. So a squared is equal to 79.25. I had a little moment there. Obviously that's a squared, so we need to square root both sides to find a. So shift square root of my answer. Shift answer is 8.9, which is a lot more reasonable. So A is 8.9. I now need to find this longer angle. Okay, it was longer, sorry, longer diagonal. So how am I going to do that? Well, this is a parallelogram. We haven't actually used, well, we found the diagonal, but obviously, if it's a parallelogram, these are parallel. And so if this is 35 degrees, we know that this angle is going to be, we know that C, I'm just going to put a D in there, is equal to 180 degrees minus 35 degrees, and that reason is co-interior angles are supplementary on parallel lines A, B, parallel to CD. So I'm just writing out the reason that I know that information. So 180 minus 35 is 145 degrees. So I know that this is 145 degrees. I have calculated it, I've given my reason, and I've put it on my diagram. That's going to help you visually as well. So now I've got this triangle over here. I've got a side, but I don't have this side. What am I going to do? Well, I know that in a parallelogram, opposite sides are equal. So DC is equal to AB is equal to 10 centimeters. Oppo sides of a parallelogram are equal. Okay, so I'm just using all my year 9 and 10, year 8 even, when you learn about parallelograms, etc., all my knowledge that I have. So don't think that you don't know how to do something. You will know how to do something. Just think about, what are you given? Is there anything special about the shape? Okay, so now that I've got all my information, I have got a triangle here. I'm actually just going to redo my triangle. I've got a triangle ADC with a angle of 145, 15, 10, and in this case, this is actually going to be my little C, okay, because that is over there. So don't worry too much about that, but let's just go, we're going to go C squared is equal to, this is A and this is D, A squared plus D squared minus, now it's going to be these two sides, 2AD cos of capital C. Okay, so you could rearrange all your lettering here, that's not a problem, but it's always going to be the 3 letters. So the one that you're trying to find is the one that's opposite that side that you're given, so this side and this angle. Then it's going to be these two sides squared and added together. Take away 2 times these two that are on the right hand side of the equal sign, and then cosine of the capital of that small side. Okay, so fair enough, there we go. Let's do this. So C squared equals 10 squared plus 15 squared minus 2 times 10 times 15 times the cosine of 145 degrees. Okay, so we are just going to put all of that into our calculator. I'm going to pause this and do that on my own. Okay, as you can see, I have put it in there, 10 squared plus 15 squared minus 2 times 10 times 15 times cos 145 degrees equals 517. Like, I've done something wrong. No, you haven't. We still need a square root, okay? So the square root of C is going to be 23.89. Now, I've used my answer button. It's down the bottom of my calculator, which you possibly can't see. But if I move it up, we're going to go pear-shaped. So use Shift Answer, which is next to your X key, your Enter key, down the bottom. That will take the whole value, all of these digits over here, and square root the whole thing. So just giving you a more accurate answer. So I have got that my one diagonal is 8.9, the other diagonal is 23.89. And the question was, find the difference between the lengths. So don't forget to go back and check after you've done all of this working that you have actually answered the question. So difference in diagonal lengths would be 23.89 minus 8.9. 8.9, which is going to give me, I just put minus 8.9. Gives me 14.99. There we go. Okay, so use the diagrams, draw on the diagrams, and make sure that you go back and check that you have actually answered the question. All the best with going through these. Maths is awesome, and have a good day.